Our next guest here today on the Gray Sheet podcast is Kenny Duncan Jr., who has been a past guest on our show, and it's great to welcome him back today because Kenny has a really exciting new venture that he wants to talk about called the Celebrity Mint. The Celebrity Mint, as you're going to find out in today's podcast, is incredibly innovative and a way to bring the classic U.S. coin collecting market crossover not only into the modern world coin market, which is something that we all feel really needs to be expanded, but also into the collectibles, sports collectibles market. So Kenny, thanks for joining us today. And I just can't wait to hear and share what you're doing with this new, product, the Celebrity Mint.
Hey, I appreciate that, John. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, there's a lot of exciting things going on. We're pretty pumped, and not only about the Celebrity Mint, but also too just about, gold, silver bullion, rare coins themselves. I mean, we're busy. I have a shop in Houston, U.S. Coins and Jewelry. Super excited about what I feel is coming about. I'm very excited about where our hobby's going.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have had a lot of conversations over the last couple of years about lapses in this market where we, as classic U.S. coin dealers, fail to reach what is, I think, the base of the modern collector, not modern coin collectors per se, but the person who's really interested in collecting in today's modern world with the internet and so many things with social media. The classic U.S. market has really failed to reach into that audience. And I think Celebrity Mint, as you and I have discussed it, is a really tremendous, way of crossing over. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing over here?
The idea is to make some very small mintages of some very cool people, adding a signature, a real autograph to that, keeping mintages down low and putting really cool chase elements personal from this person. Anyone that signs up with Celebrity Mint is someone that we bring in house and that we have on our podcast and that we talk to and that we understand. And I just feel like we have an opportunity here because one thing that rare coins and vintage coins provide it is a very safe trading place. And I feel confident saying that. I feel like if you get with the right dealers and you're looking for a specific, to collect a specific date run or a specific type, there are people within our industry that you can buy and sell with ease and have a very clear buyback and have a very clear understanding of what you're paying over a wholesale market and, what your liquidity value is. And as I get older, and I start to venture off into things myself, the very first thing I want to know before I get involved with anything is what's my liquidity? Like how fast and how quick can I get my money out if something turns? Is it liquidable in a down market, right? If there's a bid out there for 2,000 and I have to sell it quick, can I get 1,800 or am I going to get 1,200 or 1,000? And in the sports card market, I don't feel like that liquidity channel exists. And with the rare coins and with bullion, there is intrinsic value that's tied into it. And I believe that we can really, really grow the hobby here. I really, really do.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, you said a couple things that I'd like to pick up on. For example, you said it's an opportunity, and I added to that, I would say, and a responsibility for us as coin dealers, the way you say it, to usher, let's call it maturity in the collectibles hobby to collectors, because that's what we bring to the table. We bring to the table as an industry, as a numismatic industry, this kind of long-term responsibility of selling bullion products or rare coin products and things like that with buybacks and or with the credibility that the dealers have. And that is something, as you're mentioning, isn't really present in other collectibles. And we can do that because we've had this experience for so many years. We've had authentication, third-party authentication since 1986. And I like to tell people when I speak outside of the numismatic sphere, I like to explain to people that most of the third-party authentication and collectibles in this world starts with the coins. So PCGS starts grading third-party coins in 1986. And then PSA starts sometime later. And of course, PSA is now, the dog wagging the tail of PCGS. They're so much bigger, so huge. Same thing happens at NGC. They found at NGC, and now CCG is in authentication for cards and of course in comics. So I completely agree with that leadership approach. And I think that we do it better than other hobbies do.
So to say that we're excited is an understatement. We're not looking for paid pitch people or anything like that. That's not what we're doing. We're teaming up with people. We took the best of the bets in the sports memorabilia world, and we took some really some really big names in sports, in boxing and in baseball and wrestling, and a lot of bigger names that we will release coming up here soon. But we have partnered with some of the biggest stars to bring some really, really, really cool products to market. And it's kind of breaking the mold a little bit from a traditional world coin, because this one's going to be more modeled into this sports icon or this celebrity or whatnot. But it's also to make smaller mintages and make coins and make hunting, maybe try a different spin. When I teamed up with Mike Tyson, like we teamed up with Mike Tyson, when we teamed up with Ric Flair, he's here doing a podcast. He'll be with us at the launch at New York Comic Con. He's bought into the company, not as a investor, but more so just in believing in what we're doing.
I love what you're doing with this crossover. And, you just tipped your hat to the fact that you bringing in celebrities into this collectible area that you're marketing. And I also love that, that you don't want to talk about, the pure investment potential of anything. It's all
Absolutely.
about organic investment potential. And that's what's always been good for rare coins. Coins, I'd always explained to people when I was a dealer, it's not first an investment, but it certainly has been a good investment for people. We bring to the table as an industry, as a numismatic industry, this kind of long-term responsibility of selling bullion products or rare coin products and things like that, with buybacks and or with the credibility that the dealers have. And that is something, as you're mentioning, isn't really present in other collectibles. And we can do that because we've had this experience for so many years. We've had authentication, third-party authentication since 1986. And I like to tell people when I speak outside of the numismatic sphere, I like to explain to people that most of the third-party authentication and collectibles in this world starts with the coins. So PCGS starts grading third-party coins in 1986, and then PSA starts sometime later. And of course, PSA is now the dog wagging the tail of PCGS. They're so much bigger, so huge. Same thing happens at NGC. They found at NGC, and now CCG is in authentication for cards and of course in comics. So I completely agree with that leadership approach, and I think that we do it better than other hobbies do.
So I've been going to the National Sports Card Collector Show for 2 years now. I've been to sport card collector shows for the last 2 years, and I've noticed this trend of young hobbyists, from anywhere from 12 to, till their, early 20s or late teens, that are just absolutely having the time of their lives collecting sports cards and relics and other chase, other chase element. And, the chase element model is really, really big right now within that crowd. And obviously, how do they get to understand that information? Well, it's popular on TikTok. It's popular on Instagram. It's somewhat popular on Facebook, but within Facebook groups that are tailored for those different hype channels, whether it's baseball cards or sneakers, but you've seen it, right? Every teenager that I see, they walk around in these big hoodies and these Yeezys, and their hair's all over the place. And, they're trying to find something to do, right? Find something to allocate time when they're out of school. And I'll tell you, at the National this year, there was no less than 50,000 kids in my 6 hours on the floor. And I don't know if you were at the last ANA, but maybe there were a couple hundred, right? And if you wanted to be fair, you would say maybe 1,000.
Just like you said, at the National, tens of thousands of people are coming, and at rare coin shows, tens of hundreds or something, or tens of dozens. We need to bring in the new collector. We're seeing new young dealers in coins in a way that we've never seen. Scores of new young dealers are coming in, which is exciting. And I think they're going to be really excited about trading modern mint issues from the world. I think one of the things that we've also talked about over time is the lack of maturity in the American market for modern world issues. I've been a big fan of those issues actually for quite a while. They can be scarce in terms of mintages. The designs are amazing. Companies like CIT that mint incredible products, and American collectors really just haven't been exposed to them as they have in Europe or in Asia. So I think there's opportunity for marketers to come in and sellers to bring in an interesting product. The 2021 Morgan and Peace Dollar issue from the US Mint is very popular. but too slow to be followed on. They followed in 2023, but
Right.
we
Yeah.
need many
What
more
happened
products
to it?
like this.
What happened to it though? And that's, again, that's kind of what I'm saying. I feel like there have been some attempts, right? But I feel like they're almost failed because the follow-up isn't there.
Nostalgia is everything, right? To collecting.
Well, and then
It's everything.
and you got to love that, right? I mean, you
Right.
have to love people that are trying to step out of themselves. And I mean, sure, are we making money? Yeah, we're going to make money. But I think the real payoff for me is to see how big can we expand this hobby? What bull market can we help create? Is there a perfect storm coming? Is 2024? I mean, I believe very, 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 very much so in the metals in 2024. And that's not investment advice. That's just my personal take on things. So I'm kind of betting on myself here and betting on what I think will help attract new people into our hobby.
I mean, I think you're doing a heck of a job in terms of that. And I just like you said, I mean, there are some people out there doing some really cool, innovative things, of which we try to do the same. But I mean, I applaud you for what you're doing because there aren't that many people doing it. There are not that many great ideas happening just yet, but I think you're going to inspire other people, and that'll be good for you. That'll be good for them, and that'll be good for the hobby. Everything that's good in the greater hobby is, I think, certainly good for any of the individual dealers that have great reputations. So I think it's a no-brainer in terms of how you're approaching this, and I think it's really great to talk to you about it from this, this kind of numismatic perspective. As you know, I know you're going to be talking to people in kind of wide audience, medium, but we're talking here about specifically about the coin business. What you're doing is important, and it is inspiring other people, and I think it's going to matter.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's I had this idea, this Celebrity Mint idea, about 18 months ago, and it was something I could never get it. I could never forget about the idea, and I bought the website that night, and I just couldn't believe it was there. Number one, there it was $11.99, baby, celebritymint.com. And I was like, dude, this is it's meant to be. Like, we have to make this work. And, it's crazy to be able to go back and think of the events that got us here. But at the end of the day, we're launching October 14th at New York Comic Con in the eBay booth, with the distribution deal with eBay.
Go eBay. Good partners of ours as well. We love that guy. We love those guys. They're very energetic about our hobby. So just a quick shameless plug for our friends at eBay, because they have been amazing for us in the numismatic field. Everyone knows they're huge in other collectibles like sports cars or sneakers and things like that. But I know they're working with you at Celebrity Mint. So tell me really quickly what you guys have planned there.
So I can't get into too much detail right now with eBay, but they will be getting 100% of the distribution, as well as products will still be available on the Celebrity Mint website. But we are still working out some of those details. But we are very excited about what we've been able to do with eBay. They've been a great partner, very understanding, and very, I just say very easy to deal with. To be honest with you, just very easy to deal with. Man, I don't want to give them too much credit because I don't want people to go beat down their door. But
but they do get it. And I have personally been working in some way, shape, or form with eBay, the team at eBay that deals in the collectibles verticals, for about 12 years. So I know that it doesn't happen overnight that it works out this way. They've really put a concerted effort into it.
They have great leadership right now. And that's the difference. And honestly, I think that's the difference in everything that we can connect, right? Is that how is the leadership? Are we doing what we say we're going to do? Are we doing it consistently every day, right? Are we owning up to mistakes and trying to figure out ways to get better? And that's honestly, that's really what it all boils down to. Right. And we've put, I don't know if I told you that I did hire Ryan Fisher to be the COO of this company.
You did.
So we do, we've got, listen, man, I've got a really good crew here, man. I'm really excited to see what we do here. I think we can really bring a lot of new people to this hobby. Don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on us.
We won't sleep on you. And I think that's a great way to end this conversation. And I think what we should do is come visit you again in a few more months and see how Celebrity Mint is doing and learn more about the exciting things. Because I know right now you can't divulge it all. So let's roll this together. And we're going to work to, here at Gray Sheet, what we're going to do is we want to reach out to anybody who's interested in being innovative in this market, the numismatic market, the collectibles markets, and we want to get everybody involved and interested and make this exciting and successful for all the dealers and collectors in our hobby.
I want to really say thank you to you for, you've listened to this idea for like the last, I'd say almost a year now. You kind of took, you definitely guided me through some of the tougher parts of it. So I appreciate you standing in my corner. You let me get this message out there. And I really thank you guys for the support.
Absolutely. It is an honor to support you guys. Like I said, I love it. I mean, I'm so glad that there's people like yourself doing original, product launches and things like that. That's what we need. So I'm in your corner always.
All right, man. Fist bump.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Justin.
All right. Like, comment, and subscribe at the Gray Sheep channel.